So, the rune bears are pretty interesting. Let's talk about them, shall we? Rune bears have grown to be one of my favorite enemies in the FromSoft lineup. From their first encounters in the Mistwood, all the way to the consecrated Snowfield, rune bears command both fear and respect with their grisly grabs, unforeseen combo breakers, and near unbearable aggression. This sheer presence that the rune bears have makes them a divisive animal. But I have a particular appreciation for these Ursa Majors. For you see, the rune bears have some prehistoric precedent in real life. Say hello to Arctodus, the short-faced bear. Runa, if you would.
Thank you, boss. Standing at a bit over 5 feet at the shoulder and a whopping 10 feet upright, Arctodus was a right big un he was. Dare I say he was the biggest bear. These big boys, along with Arctotherium on the south side, roamed all over the Americas some 500,000 years ago. In the media, Arky is often shown rocking some massive arms for chasing prey, the signature short face, and is usually depicted as a hyper-carnivore. In terms of prehistoric buggers, Arky is one of the Pleistocene's biggest stars. All of this translates nicely into Elden Ring, as we can see that the rune bears have these traits too. Long arms, short face, faster than they have any right being. And the ghouly eyes look right similar to the eyes we get when we eat dragons, don't they? Thank you, Zoe. If hunting dragons isn't hyperlethal, I don't know what is. The inspiration is plain to see, innit? Let's get into some trivia shite to further this, shall we? I've been keen to talk about how Arky is shown in media so far. This is because the usual showings of old Arky are sorta off. While yes, Arkies were the biggest bears, its proportions weren't as extreme as some folk believe. A skeleton can only tell so much, you know? Modern bears look right funky when you take all the flesh off them. Safe to say we need a reference point before we can judge what old Arky looked and acted like. For a good example on what could be, let's look to their closest relative today, the spectacled bear. The spectacled bear, native to the Andes Mountains, is the last member of the Tremarctine family of bears, which also included both Arkies. Andean bears love a good salad, feeding primarily on fruits and veggies in the area. Won't stop them from snacking on some leftovers, though. They'll scavenge corpses and hunt small fry when they want meat. It stands to reason that the Arkies would have had similar lifestyles to these lot, munching on the sturdy bits of other predators' meals that they couldn't stomach, and filling up on greens between corpses. Their size would have made it right easy for them to scare off other hunters, letting them be a berry big bully. They could surely hunt when they need to, what with their toolkit and such. But nature likes the path of least resistance. The skeletons of the Specky lad line up quite well with their forebears, looking like wee mini versions of the Arkies. Compared to the brown bears of today, the Tremarctines have deeper skulls, making their faces look shorter, hence the moniker short-faced. Now, looking at the Andy and Teddy here, I kinda see a bit of old rune bear in the markings. Colour lines up well, even if the Specky is a bit darker in the main coat. Food for thought, eh? If rune bear is based off the old Arkies, then it'd make sense to look at their grandkids for reference, wouldn't it? Now that we've yammered on about old fossils, let's get into some lesser trivia, shall we? First and foremost, the tree scratching. When that bald tosser first tricks you, you're greeted with this. Real-life bears scratch up trees as a way to mark their own turf, so other bears know to bugger off. Now, these rune bears don't seem to ticked by each other's company, or the lesser bears around them. This has precedent in life, as when there's enough food to go round without a fight, bears can be a pretty chill lot to one another. Well, mostly. Given the amount of bears in Mistwood alone, it's safe to say these big uns aren't too hungry, eh? Doesn't stop them from being right angry, though. Now, as far as I can tell, we got 3 types of rune bears in the lands between. First up, the lesser brown rune bear. These boys are the one we all know and love, and can be seen all over the Mistwoods, Limgrave, as well as the Dragonbarrow Cave, just to name a few spots. Next up, the shaggy rune bears. These ones are right rarer than their cousins in Limgrave, only popping up round Caelid and a few other spots. Their coats are a shaggy grey, good claws on them, and in general seem a good bit older than the lesser rune bears. Lastly are the polar rune bears, which are really just the other rune bears with a bunch of snow in their coat. You'll find these lot up north in the snowfields causing a hoof. I've been talking a good bit about these here rune bears, but the lands between actually got itself some proper brown bears in it, they do. Or, rather, proper short-faced bears. See? The grizzlies here got the same mug shapes as the rune bears, and actually scale fairly accurately to a real archie. Yep, about 5 or 6 feet at the shoulder, and a tenor upright. It's interesting, it is, having a more true-to-life representation of an archie, right alongside the stereotype. I think it's neat anyways. To any of you lot who aren't fond of punching bears, there are some craftier things you can do to keep these beasties at bay. Mundy, love, if you would.
I got it.
Wait!
There we go.
Thank you, sweetie.
Anytime, hun.
As you saw, these tossers are right weak to sleeping status, so some arrows or pots would do you good if you find these lads too difficult to bear. For the ballsier among you, remember to dodge into the bear's swings. He's unbearably angry, and will punish you for running away. Stick to his gut, and you'll have him down a lot easier. We've already established the rune bear's prehistoric origins and how extra they are in comparison to life, but this bears repeating, rune bears are not natural. What made these lads such units? The official stance is that they simply grew big because runes, hence the name. Plus there's the aforementioned Zully theory involving eating dragons, but I got one more theory. The rune bears don't just eat runes, they munch on Erd trees. The largest sleuth of rune bears just so happens to be in the Mistwood, next to one of the first minor Erd trees you'd likely come across. There's minor Erd trees close by to some of the other, more notorious rune bears as well. Like the Dragonbarrow bear. Or the shaggy rune bear in Caelid, who's not but a quick jog away from his tree. Hell, even the pillars in the snowfield have been proven to be a sort of super tree they have. Now we already know that the leaves of these trees buff your rune gains. Erd tree twigs let you keep runes after death. So what could the bark do, eh? The reason I suggest this is because of the Andean bear. You know the last Tremarctine? Yeah, they'll munch on the wood of trees. Just straight up crunching bark. Hell, one of their names even translates to tree bark eater. So, me theory is as follows. The rune bears were ones with a taste for Erd tree bark, letting them soak up more runes than the average bear, thus mutating them into the units we see in-game. The added runes from their constant buff would, in turn, give them what they need to take down dragons for their hearts. Food for thought, I think. Thanks for stopping by today, mates. Hopefully you lot learned something new, or at the very least have grown to hate the old rune bears a bit less, eh? They're right ornery, but they're still one of the more iconic monsters from Soft put into this gem. Either way, do leave your thoughts on these lads in the comments down below, or in case you've learned anything new. We also got a video on the old Falling Star beasts over yon, narrated by Bucket instead of me. Here's to hoping we cross paths again, mates. And do stay safe out there.